Warning! The following podcast contains strong language which some listeners may find offensive. If you do,
Up yours! That's only if you don't listen to the podcast. Otherwise, not up yours.
did you know the Untitled Wrestling Podcast is on all of the social media outlets? Give us a like, follow, share, subscribe, or even a review if you're feeling generous. Facebook and YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast, Twitter, Twitch and Discord at Untitled Rest Pod.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. It is Tuesday, you know what that means. It is me, your boy Big Tasty, joined as always by Faye and Jay. How is it going, Faye?
It's good. I'm really excited for Atomic. Proper psyching myself up.
We're going to talk about that, don't you worry about it. Jay, how are you, man?
Yes. I'm currently doing a lot of stuff on phones and work, so my brain is a little bit fried.
So I worked at a beer festival in Wrexham on Saturday all day, like 10 hours straight through, like one session. And they had a live band on, and it was so loud that I had to shout so much at people, like to ask them what beer they wanted. And like on Sunday, my voice just didn't work, and I was terrified.
So basically what you're saying is that Faye is running the podcast today.
Well, I haven't seen any wrestling, so I'm just going to be asking all of you about all of the wrestling. Speaking of all of the wrestling, shall we start with some G1?
Yeah.
Faye, you've probably seen the most of it. Do you want to tell us about what you've enjoyed in the G1 this week?
Well, I feel like me and Jay will want to start off with Eddie and Ishii.
I was going to say, I feel like that's like the match that we have to absolutely talk about.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff we can touch on, but that's like that I'd say was the best match that's happened in the entire G1 so far.
Yeah.
Okay, can I add the one thing I've seen about this match? Because I've seen one clip of it, and then I'll let you guys talk about it. But I literally just saw Ishii did an E-Honda headbutt.
I was going to say, was it the headbutt? Yeah. Ishii did the headbutt. Him and Eddie were like kicking out of one of each other's finishes.
Yeah.
Eddie hit about 5 back fists on Ishii, and Ishii just like stood there.
There was one though that Eddie missed, and like if it had caught Ishii, it would have like just flat out like murdered him. Like the force that he came like round it because he didn't hit him. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah, this was just two mean old bastards hitting the shit out of each other, and then seeing which one of them fell over first. It was like a fight outside the pub at last orders.
Except it's two pubs that are fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ishii ended up like hitting this horrific looking lariat on Eddie, and then picking him up for a sheer drop brainbuster to pick up the win. And Eddie was like, they had like a lovely little moment of respect after, like, because Ishii like literally just fell on Eddie to pin him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ishii kind of just like put his head next to Eddie's and nodded. And Eddie just looked like really like despondent afterwards, and then he cut like a really good promo after. There was a lot of upsets on this day as well. Like Tama Tonga beat David Finlay, which shocked me because I thought they were going to have him go undefeated. And then there was a bracket buster, which was Jeff Cobb defeating Zack Sabre Jr.
Isn't Cobb top of his block now?
Cobb is top. But I think actually him and Sabre might be joint. I think Cobb's lost one.
I think they're both 8 points, aren't they?
Yeah. Cobb's lost one and Cobb beat Sabre. But like this was great. It was just literally just picked up where they left off from Dominion. Zack tried to replicate the finish of Dominion where he rolled out the Tour of the Islands into a roll-up. He kept finding like unique ways to counter the Tour of the Islands until Jeff finally like just murdered them with one. And then afterwards, Jeff Cobb was cutting a promo in Japanese in the ring, and Zack Sabre Jr. backstage was going, "He's saying he's a fat cunt. He's just saying he's a fat cunt," and was really angry. It was brilliant.
Amazing.
I'm just seeing what else happened on that.
One of my favourite things to come out of this year while you're looking at that is Zack Sabre Jr. teaching his young boy to say the word cunt. but only like in private. Like he was like, that's a private word. You don't say that outside.
And plotting to take Fujita to Ibiza as well after the G1 is fantastic.
Mate, I'll sort him out. I know someone with a party boat.
I mean,
think he's
Zach,
got
if you're listening, call me.
Yeah, I've not seen anything after this, but I've heard about some of the matches.
So,
I know
Kiyomiya and Suji was fantastic.
when was that from? Was that from day 6?
I don't know if it was. I thought it was on the same day as Kingston and Ishii, was it not?
No, they're different blocks. Not day 6, sorry, day 7 even.
I was about to say it wasn't that far off from it.
It wasn't even then. When the hell was this fight? Have we already spoke about this?
I don't know, because I was speaking about it with Tom Clark on his podcast on Friday. So it can't have been that far off.
I don't know about that.
But,
I've got a feeling it might have been 90,
it might have been. But anyway, Tom Clark made a really good point about it. That like, oh no, it was Kiyomiya and Sonada. That's what I was talking about. Not Suji.
I was looking for a match that hadn't happened yet.
So basically, this came so close, like seconds before a time limit draw, and Sonada got the pin over him, but like it was so close that like it looked like Kiyomiya had him beat, which is mad considering that like Sonada's the champ.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Sonada is currently the only undefeated person in the entire G1.
I was about to ask because Sonada lost a match yet, but there you go.
No, I feel like Sonada, they're really trying to. I wouldn't be surprised if he won the whole thing, because I feel like they're trying to really kind of like
establish him as a champion.
Top guy. Yeah.
Wouldn't that make it 2 years in a row the champions won the G1?
Yeah.
Who won it last year?
Okada.
Okada wasn't champ. It was Jay White.
So it was.
Oh yeah.
I'm just so used to Okada being champion that I forget.
Did Okada win it the year before? Was last year the year that Kota Ibushi was in it? Or was the year before the year that Kota Ibushi was in it?
The year before was the year that Kota Ibushi was in it.
So didn't Okada win that one as well?
Yeah.
And he was champ at that point?
No, he wasn't.
He was, because he was carrying around like 2 belts.
He wasn't. He brought back the IWGP 4th belt as like a kind of signifier to say he should be the champion.
And then when he won the belt, he united the belts, didn't he?
Yeah, the champion hasn't won it for quite some time.
Okay, well then I guess Sonada can win it. As long as it's not...
That's fine.
I think at this point I'm like, as long as Okada doesn't win another G1, I'm happy.
I think it's Sheppy Zach's year, I'll be honest.
I would love for it to be Sheppy Zach's year.
I feel like it's been Zach's year for about 4 years now, and they've not pulled it through.
Well, I feel that the reason I say this is because him and Sonada have already had like 2 absolute like all-timers at Wrestle Kingdom. And I think they wrestled each other consecutive years at Wrestle Kingdom, but they've never done it for like the big one. They've done it for Zach's Rev Pro Championship, and they've done it for, I think, the Never Openweight. I could be wrong on that. Might have been another belt, or it might have just been a random match. But either way, they've never done it for the big one. And Saber's usually got Sonada's number. So okay. I feel like it's an interesting one. I don't think Sonada's going to go undefeated as well. I'm just going to say that, because usually they have somebody they usually have someone beat the champion in the tournament.
Where's Toriano?
He's not in that block. He's too busy annoying Zack Sabre Jr. So yeah, just looking at night 9, the big one there was Ospreay beating Okada. They are both joint top of B block at the moment.
Isn't that the first time Ospreay's beaten Okada?
No, I think he's beaten. I think he's beaten him in a previous G1 when he turned heel.
Right.
But I think it's like he was like this is like I'm gonna beat you like in under 20 minutes. Like if he really built it up to be big. On
Because he
Twitter.
posted on Twitter like it was a massive win. I mean, it was a massive win, obviously,
Yeah.
but like, yeah.
Well, the thing with like whenever Okada loses in the G1, because obviously he's the guy who can go like an hour without breaking a sweat, they make a big deal about someone being able to put him away in 20 minutes. So it's whenever he loses a match in the G1, it's always a big deal.
Yeah.
That was Okada's first loss as well. For those keeping track at home. I haven't seen anything from night 10, Faye. Is there anything that stood out there? I do see that Yano beat Jeff Cobb, which I'm gonna have to go back and find out what happened there.
What was the card for night 10 again?
Finley defeating Hanare, Yano defeating Jeff Cobb, Eddie Kingston defeating Mikey Nichols.
That was a very good match. That
Mikey
was a really
Nichols,
good match.
very underrated.
I love how Kingston's just having like
and
Eddie's just having straight bangers across the entire G1, and then Evil happened.
yeah.
Well, Eddie said that in his promo after this match that Mikey Nichols is like the most underrated guy in the whole tournament.
Oh, fair.
He lifted up Eddie in a suspended like suplex, like a vertical suplex, like it was nothing.
Yeah, him and
which
Shane Haste are a fantastic tag team.
Zack Sabre Jr. and Shane Haste was amazing.
Tasty, did you see the promo I sent you from after this?
No, I have not watched it yet because I forgot to look at it.
So it was basically Zack Sabre Jr. and Shane Haste just having a conversation, quoting, "I think you should leave."
Oh, nice.
Shane said,
"We need to talk at some point about the crossovers between I think you should leave in wrestling because it's getting ridiculous now."
It is.
I have never watched it.
I think you and Sarah should watch it together and like film your reactions.
Yes, that'd be good. Maybe we'll do a review of it, like on a podcast. What else was good? Tama Tonga and Shingo Takagi was better than it had any right to be. It was very good.
Incapable of having a bad match, though.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And also, though, one thing that I will say is I've got the fear that Tama's going to find his way out of C Block.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Because currently, just looking at C Block at the moment, you've got David.
It's very even keel, isn't it? Like in terms of point distribution.
Finley and Evil are both on 8. Tama's on 7, and then you've got Eddie and I think it's just Eddie actually. No, Eddie and Ishii.
Ishii's right at the bottom though.
Ishii's on 2, Eddie's on 6.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Eddie on 6, Shingo on 5. So it's starting to separate, but there's still like.
Please put Eddie through. Please put Eddie through.
Eddie ain't getting through.
Nah. He's gonna die valiantly, isn't he?
They always have like the guys who are from outside the company who are like their sort of guests, just like look good, but no, never get out. Same with Kiyomiya. I don't think he's getting out of Block A.
Naito and Alex Coughlin was also a very good match as well.
I can believe that.
That doesn't surprise me. I imagine Tanahashi and Goto would have been good like 5 years ago.
Oh, poor Tanahashi. Like, every time I'm watching a Tanahashi match, like through these nights now, I'm like, oh.
He had a really good match with Zack Sabre Jr., but that's because it was mainly mat work.
Yeah.
At one point, one of Tanahashi's knees is going to fly off and hit somebody in the front row.
Yeah. Tasty. Just to let you in on this this Zack Sabre Jr. Shane Haste thing. So Shane said he was only there for the zip line. And then they kept making references to just random skits throughout. I think you should leave.
Did somebody say that someone else's face looked like a clock?
I think he did. I want to say, I think he said, who was it? I can't remember who it was. It was someone from that block. but I think it might have been Alex Coughlin. He says had a face like a clock. But
Amazing.
Either way, they did like it was like a 3-minute promo, and half of it was just I think you should leave bits.
Nice.
The best bit of that match, by the way, was at the beginning when because at the point at it favored Shane Haste a lot, where he was just fucking slapping the piss out of Zach, and then Zach was like, "Come on, then, it's not the fucking juniors anymore, mate," and then just started trying to turn him into a pretzel.
Yeah, I love how Zach Sabre Jr. is just pure aggro, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Shane Haste had his hair slicked back after the match, so we called him a piece of shit.
This isn't slick back, this is pushback.
That's how he responded. He said about slopping up steak, and Zack Sabre Jr. pointed out he was a vegan, so they were going to slop up some soy instead.
Fair.
Yeah, it was very good. If you're I think you should leave fan, you would enjoy it.
Amazing.
So I'm trying to find because there's some matches is it Wednesday or is it tomorrow?
The 1st of August. It's tomorrow.
So tomorrow.
Should we do a quick block update? A little point scores.
Yeah, I've got the standings here.
I'm gonna just get the schedule up for the next round. We've got it ready.
Yeah.
You're doing that.
This Wikipedia page is like a fucking fever dream.
So block A, we've got Sonada with 10 points. I'm just gonna give the top 5 of each. No, actually, I'll go through all of them because the bottoms are interesting as well.
They are.
Sonada's got 10. Kiyomiya's got 6. Umanu's got 6, which is really strange. Gabe Kidd's got 5. Hikuleo's got 4. Chase Owens doesn't matter. Yota Tsuji's got 3.
Yota Tsuji on 3. That's a shocker.
Yeah. Ren Narita is on 2. Block B, Will Ospreay 8, Okada 8.
Nobody else matters in that block.
Yeah, I know. ELP 4. Kenta on Taichi's on 6. No, Taichi's on 6.
I was gonna say Taichi and ELP are worth having a little watch there because it feels like ELP especially is doing a bit of a redemption arc on it.
Yeah, he is.
And Taichi is who Sonada said he'd pick if he wins the G1.
Mate, fantastic. ELP he ain't really even nothing on fucking 4 points.
So ELP, Tangaloa, Kenta, and Yoshihashi all have 4, and then Great Khan has 2.
Which again feels weird.
Yeah. C block, David Finlay and Evil both have 8. Tamaha Tonga has 7. Eddie Kingston has 6. Takagi has 5. Hinari, Mikey Nichols, and Ishii all have 2.
So there it feels like Eddie's handily placed. I know he won't get through, but it feels like he could threaten. Evil on 8. Why is Evil?
Because they're going to try and do a Bullet Club Civil War story, but instead of Kenny and Jay White, it's going to be Evil and David Finlay.
We have Bullet Club Civil War at home.
We should have had Bullet Club Civil War and it be Kenta and David Finlay then. Why does it have to be Evil?
Well, no, you could have just done it Forbidden Door and done Philly and Jay White. That was the moment. That was the one to do.
Yeah.
Lil K falls in line. He knows his place with David Finlay.
He does, and it's so weird. It just doesn't feel like him.
He respects him.
And then D block, Jacob and Shecky Zak are both on 8. Tanahashi's on 6, as well as Naito. Hiroki Goto, Shane Haste on 4. Alex Coughlin, Toriano on 2.
Nothing would make me happier than Cobb and Sabre both getting out of that block.
Sad Naito noses.
I've got the fear that not neither of them, but one of them isn't getting out.
I mean, Naito and Tanahashi are right there, mate.
I know. But also,
you know they ain't putting both of them out the G1 in the group stage.
That's true. Well, I don't know. Tanahashi's old as shit. Naito literally phoned it in a Forbidden Door. He just came in. Didn't even bother to try a Destino anybody and then fucked off.
I mean, he came in as the most baller entrance of all time, but
that's true.
This could be like Tanahashi's last G1 though, so they could just very well put him through because it's his last G1.
What do you like? What he did with Suzuki and just forget he was there?
Yeah.
Sad Suzuki noises. So I'm just going to run through the matches that we've got coming up. So this is for the 1st of August. So by the time this podcast is out, these matches have happened. Hikuleo versus Kaito Kiyomiya, Yoshihashi versus the Great Okan, the big baller match there. Ren Narita versus Chase Owens, Taichi versus ELP, Sanada versus Gabe Kidd, Tangaloa versus Will Ospreay, Shota Umino versus Yota Tsuji, which has banger written all over it.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
The one I'm real excited for, Okada versus Kenta.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Kenta's probably going to cry Okada.
Is this the last week of group matches?
No.
Yeah. Is it not?
No, the last week is next week. So
there's only night 11 and night 12 down on the schedule matches on Wikipedia.
So, oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check what the match lineups are then for the others, and I'll let you know, because I know on the 9th of August, Eddie Kingston's doing commentary for it. Oh, it could be the semis, couldn't it? That's
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, because Sonada's already qualified. Sonada's already qualified, apparently.
Shagger. So on the 2nd of August, we've got Tanahashi versus Alex Coughlin.
Yes, please.
Mikey Nichols versus Evil.
Yeah.
Yano versus Shane Haste, which I'm weirdly excited for. Ishii versus Hanare, which will probably be like two fridges having a fight. Hiroki Goto versus Jeff Cobb. That should be fun. Tamatonga versus Eddie. Naito versus Sheppy Zack. And the main event is Finley versus Takagi.
Yes.
That'll be good.
Yeah. And then, I'm just having a look. There's that. What's that?
Also, me and Nat were talking about Finley today, and we realised that David Finley looks like if Seth Rollins and Scotty Rowe had a love child. And I'm just going to give you that image.
Oh, okay. So then from the 5th to...
I say there must be
You
one
know,
more
like
week
a battle for
because
third place.
the 5th. Yeah, so basically they've got 4 days from next week. And each one is like the last day for each block.
right.
And then it's padded out with like a couple of 8-mans.
I was going to say because Eddie and David Finley haven't fought yet.
So
Oh,
yeah,
I can't wait for that.
Eddie's commentating on the last day of D block. So he's going to be commentating on Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr., Jeff Cobb versus Shane Haste, Yano versus Alex Coughlin, and Tanahashi versus Naito.
Nice.
But also there's a Ren Narita, Desperado, and Suzuki versus LIJ match. He's going to be commentating on, which I can't wait for that.
He's also going to kill
Eddie.
He's also going to kill another leader of Bullet Club in the same year.
I was about to say, I can't wait for Eddie to also kill David Finley, and then that just be Eddie's thing that he does.
On the day that he's doing commentary as well, he's got a match against House of Torture. Eddie and a Young Lion versus Evil and Show, so I think he's going to crime show as well.
Nice.
Just have Eddie be like the Bullet Club's kryptonite. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got the quarterfinals are a week on Thursday, the semis are a week on Saturday, and then the final is a week on Sunday on the 13th.
Fair.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, that'll wrap up wrap up our New Japan segment. Next up, Faye, keep it with you. Tell us all about Siren's Fury.
Oh, so I had so much fun at this. It was so good. And it was knowing like you go really quick from like being sort of like excited for a match, and then in the space of like a minute you're like, oh no, this is going to be so good. That's what happened to me, because I spoke to Rio before the match, and like her excitement for it and her enthusiasm was completely infectious. It was so good.
First of all, what is Siren's Fury?
Yeah, it is an all-women's promotion. Sort of like a I don't know if it's like under TNT, because it doesn't even have it on the thing. So I suppose you'd call it like a sister promotion, I guess.
It's from the people behind TNT, I think is probably the best way to put it.
It's under the TNT umbrella.
Yeah. Bit like Stardom for New Japan. So ran by, obviously, like booked by the girls. It's it's not so like they have quite a lot of creative control in it.
Oh, cool.
They're sort of being told it's being done by Lizzie, Rio, and Lucy Sky and Alexis Falcon.
Oh, nice.
And they have like the creative run at that, and it was very, very good. The first match was Lucy Sky versus Ivy. Now, since seeing Ivy on TNT, she's changed her gimmick to like what Chelsea Green should be.
Right.
So like, where she like comes out and she's like, I'm not a Karen. Like that's like her thing now. That's like Sam Pele was comparing, which was delightful.
Yeah.
And he came out and she's like, she's definitely not a Karen, which proceeded to start Karen chants. And then she kept like going over to like Sam Pele and going like, I'm putting a formal complaint in about everyone here. So then people were shouting, well, I'm putting a complaint in about you. And she was like, can't do that. And we were like, yeah, we can. But Lucy Sky just like absolutely like, there was a lot of back and forth. And to be fair, I've really missed seeing Ivy at Ignition. So it was nice to see that. But Lucy Sky just absolutely like chopped the soul out of her, like, and won. And it was a very, very good match.
Who won?
Lucy Sky.
Oh, sweet.
Lucy Sky beat her by like I said.
By technical murder.
Yeah, technical murder.
Awesome.
It was. Second match was ZZ versus Chantel Jordan. Now, I've never seen ZZ before, but I've heard loads about her from like other women's wrestlers putting her over on Twitter. So I was really excited to see her. And she came out with one hell of an attitude, just like asked me why I was taking pictures of her, looked like so affronted by it. Chantel Jordan. Oh my God, she's got murder kicks.
Nice.
Like Malachi level murder kicks. Jay, you would have loved it.
I am very aware of Chantal Jordan. She is very good.
Well, I've seen her, but I don't remember her having these kicks. So, like, when that happened...
She did some at Big Gay Brunch.
Yes. Was it at the Rumble, though? Because I feel like so much happened in the Rumble that,
She was doing the kicks in the Rainbow Rumble, I do recall.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was just Chantel absolutely, like, making ZZ understand, because ZZ went in with like this cocky, like young upstart wrestler like feel about her, and she was really good. She's got some like great submissions and stuff like that, had some really good counters, but Chantel was just like having none of it. She was out for blood, and Chantel won that one, and that was wonderful. Third match was it was Lizzie Evo versus Mila Grace, sorry. Lizzie was working like heel in this match, or like the crowd started like were more on Mila's side, except for me, obviously.
I mean, Lizzie's got that ability though. She can get a big cheer and then she can just like be an absolute shithouse for like 5 minutes and everyone will stop booing her.
Mila's like always going to be a baby face as well in that situation.
It was very cute.
Great.
Mila got some really good offense in this though. Like she's really quick, so and she was able to just like counter a lot of Lizzie's like sort of like more hard hitting moves. A lot of like sweeping her, getting her down on the mat and stuff like that. Which took a lot of Lizzie's offense away. But then Lizzie just sort of when she gets that way where she just starts having an attitude, and she's like, come on then, and like Mila was just like, Lizzie just didn't have any of it. I think it was with a submission, but it might have been with a submission and then just again like Lizzie just battered her. But Lizzie won that one. But Mila got a really good reception once Lizzie had left the ring. They had a nice hug, so it wasn't like setting up for any sort of like heel turn from Lizzie.
Right. So they were fine in the end.
Yeah, it was good in the end. It was really good, and people were shouting, "Please come back!" So I hope she does.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Myla, she's really good. Now the next one was meant to be Leah Raven and Lana Austin. And then Lana came out, said she won't be performing, she won't be wrestling tonight, but she will be giving us a rendition of Lana Yoki, which was horrific.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely awful. But there were a lot of Lana Austin fans in, so like Lana was made up, but Sam Pele was not at all.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then Leah Raven came out, and then Martina came out because Lana started like battering Leah before she got in the ring, and then Martina came out and was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then Lana went, "I'll buy you a beer if you beat her up, if you beat Leah up." And then she was like, "Okay then, Miss Lana," and like was just really happy. And then everyone was like, "Martina, what are you doing?" And she was like, "I just really want a beer." She's like, "Do you have a beer?" We were like, "No." She's like, "Well, I really want a beer now, so I'm gonna beat her up." And then Rio came out and was like, "What are you doing? You're meant to be having a match with me. What are you doing having a beer?" Martina was terrified, and then it turned into like an impromptu tag match between Lana and Martina versus Leah and Rio, which was amazing, full of so much fuckery of like Martina constantly going onto the ring to try and sneak beers while Lana was getting beat up. And then she'd get tagged in and then she'd start beating on Leah and going, "Was that good, Miss Lana? Are you pleased, Miss Lana? Can I have a beer now, Miss Lana?" And then Rio just murdered Lana Austin and Martina. Yeah, it was fantastic. So much fun. And then at the end, Lana left Martina to get battered by Rio. And then after they were done, Leah Raven and Rio poured beer over Martina's head.
No.
And Martina was thrilled.
Oh, she liked it. Oh, fair, yeah.
Yeah, she was made up, but they were like disgusted. And then Rio's like, that's set up for Rio then to go for the to challenge. Basically, it was meant to be an ICW championship match between Martina and Rio, but I think because they ran a little late to start, they had to turn it into a tag match. But it was still highly entertaining.
But they can kick that down the line now and do it next time.
Yeah. And then the final match was Alexis Falcon versus Holly Hudson.
A rematch of one of our favourite WrestleMania matches of all time.
Yeah, but like now we had like Crowley Alexis.
She's a sex person now.
Yeah, I know, it was awful. I kept giving her shouts of "Where's your fella gone?" and she looked devastated.
It's funny because like she's really good at being a heel, but every now and then because she's such a genuinely nice person, she just genuinely does get upset when people scream horrible things at her.
She was like, I'm not fighting until you tell them to shut up. It's like the ref, and the ref was like, but yeah, this Harley almost had this, because she just kept doing. She really had the upper hand, and then she kicked out of a belt shot.
Oh damn!
As well, yeah. Basically, Alexis tried to get the chair in. Ref took the chair, and as she was taking the chair away, she hit Harley with the belt. Harley kicked out, and it was at like 2 as well.
Jesus.
Like there was a lot of near falls in this match, and then Alexis then hit her with a low blow, and give it like she calls it the off with her head, but to me it just looks like a Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but it's very similar.
I thought
Fair.
it's I know what it is. It's similar. It's like a modified, it's like a modified swinging a DDT. Isn't it?
Yeah. It just
It's
reminds me of
basically
Blade Runner, but
It's Blade Runner, but she does it into a DDT instead of a flat
and it's
line.
like inverted as well, isn't it? Like it's not the same as a Blade Runner in terms of House 12s and stuff.
Yeah.
As well. Because Harley counted that at first before she did the low blow and then got it for the 1-2-3. And yeah, it was painful to watch because like, you know, when like you go in thinking they're not going to drop the belts because it wasn't announced on the card on the poster that it was for the women's championship either.
Right.
And then they were just like, it's for the women's belt, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh damn. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. And then it got to like halfway through the match, and I was like, we're going to have like another Wrestle Island here. Is that what's going to happen? I started the wool chant at Alexis, and Lizzie burst out laughing from the balcony.
Amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really, really good. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. Like there wasn't a VIP match, so like, yeah, but
Just
it was
getting
really
on
good.
to it.
And it was seated.
All seated.
Yeah, all seated,
nice.
like the Ignition shows.
As someone who spent most of the weekend standing up, I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah. And it finished at like 9.
Oh, nice. It was midweek, wasn't it? So
yeah,
they live streamed it on YouTube as well. I've just had a look then to see if it was still up, but and they were charging a $5 for the live stream of it.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't think it's for the live stream. I think it's for the subscription.
yeah, because they're doing Ignition on it, aren't they? The next Ignition shows also being live streamed.
Right. I know. Obviously, with
Give a chair.
I was going to say with it being on demand progress, they're looking at doing with their new kind of platform that they're launching in the next couple of weeks.
The platform that was demand progress is now gone, and progress is setting their own one up, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, apparently they've had it already kind of ready to roll out anyway. So in a couple
Tell
of weeks
you what though, you know what though, like thingy was fine for me watching PWG on that was fine, but demand progress, because I used to have a demand progress subscription and it was unusable, like completely unusable. It's so bad. And I had to email them to cancel it. Like I couldn't cancel it. Like
it's like trying to cancel a gym membership. It's like no, you've got to come in and we'll shout at you before you're allowed to do it. And it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. You know?
Yeah. I know from the new platform they've been saying they're going to look at live streaming as many shows as they can.
That's good, because there might be like people from like the GCW weekend that might want to see other TNT shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
I know even people like Gabby says like she can't make it down for all the shows, can't she? Because they live like so far away. Not being able to see them kind of sucks. But yeah, like you say, they pick up a lot of fans at GCW, and it's nice if they can, even if they can't make it to the shows, if they can still catch up with what's going on. That's great.
Well, my cousin doesn't he now lives in Spain and he used to come to all the shows with us, but he can't watch them. So if there's somewhere for him to watch them, I personally would just love it to be on Fight Plus. Give it to me, or give it to me through that. That would be amazing.
I mean, I've seen some sketchy shit on Fight Plus, so TNT could definitely get on there.
Yeah. And that's a conversation you'd need to have with Mr. Apter.
Yeah,
or maybe someone else. Right, shall we talk about some AEW then?
Well, before we do, Jay, I think you wanted to talk about a big NXT match.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So just a bit of breaking news. As Troy is now doing some work for AEW, he's now taken over the AEW paid show position from me on the podcast. So
Troy.
Yeah, so he's now Tony's man, All Elite Troy, Troy Wrestling. Troy Khan. So I am now becoming the WWE show. So
the difference a year, mate.
So basically, the Young Bucks are shit. Roman's the best champion. Tony Khan's a con man, and he hugs his wrestlers too much, and he should be more like a sex pest.
What are your thoughts on Logan Paul?
I think he is the greatest wrestler of all time, and I think WWE made the right decision signing into a long-term deal.
And
that was painful to listen to. I feel like I've just entered the darkest timeline.
I've got a
That was
horrible
awful.
feeling some of that will be played back to me at some point,
Oh.
and it'll come back to haunt me.
it's
Gotta make them
all
into
right.
Twitch sounds.
It's all right. If you think that's bad, you should see like Troy just like blowing his load for AEW all the time now.
It's mad. It's like Bizarro World. So let's talk about the big NXT match of the weekend. I am, of course, referring to Gable Steveson versus Baron Corbin.
Oh God, that's fire. That it has been labelled as one of the worst debuts of all time, which I feel is unfair because they've definitely had worse debuts in WWE.
Because the gobbledygooker exists. And
exactly my point. Yeah, he went to a double count out with Baron Corbin, who also debuted a new gimmick. So it was like two guys who they really didn't want to lose, so they just panicked and went, ah! Yeah. Sadly, Gable Stevenson didn't do his nails gimmick, which, in the prison jumpsuit and all that. I
did see someone say this is the second time he's been protected by technicality.
Fucking hell. I love the Botchamania thing where it was I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about him cutting a promo going, I'm going right where I belong, and then it just like started like the theme to Porridge.
Christ on a pike. No, do you want to talk about the actual good match, which was Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes? Yeah,
this was great. So I watched this because I was told it was a match of the year contender. Now, in my opinion, it wasn't, but it was good match.
It was a match, and it was of the year.
It was like a solid like 4-star match. Like,
fair.
It was very good. I would recommend.
Would have been 5 in Tokyo.
If you've got 20 minutes to kill and you want to watch a good wrestling match, I can think of worse things to watch. This was really fun. Ilya Dragunov, who was one of my favorites, versus Carmelo Hayes, who Melo is money, and Melo don't miss.
It feels a lot like he's really become like the shining star of NXT since the rebrand.
He's like, remember Johnny Gargano?
Yeah.
Well, he's like new Johnny Gargano, only he's got like a bit more of like an edge to him.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like a lot of his characters kind of like, it's almost like based on like Michael Jordan a bit, right? Because like you have like the basketball jerseys. He's got Trick Williams, who's like in his like corner man, who's like shouting like to like at one point in this match he got the belt and he was holding up going, this is what you're fighting for, championships. And like Melo like started like fighting from underneath because Ilya was criming him. Like Ilya was beating him so bad that the referee kept like considering whether he should stop the match.
Jesus.
He chopped the living shit out of him. Every time Carmelo looked like he was getting like an opening, Ilya would just like he was clever with it. So like Carmelo would hit a super kick and Ilya would use his momentum to hit the ropes and then just like hit him with like a massive clothesline. There was a bit where Carmelo went for like a code breaker off the middle rope and Ilya just caught him midair and powerbombed him, and it was horrifying. The finish was an interesting one because Carmelo was starting to get a bit of a comeback. There was an amazing spot, which will probably be the thing to replay the most from it, where Ilya went for a coast to coast and Carmelo caught him into a code breaker.
Yes, I've seen that. That looked incredible.
Amazing.
The fact that he caught Ilya is like amazing in itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's like catching a boulder.
The way Ilya's body moved as well, like from having his back to him to then flipping over into this code breaker was just insane. The finish was very interesting. So basically, Trick Williams had hold of the belt, and he was trying to hype up Carmelo, and Ilya did a torpedo Moscow to Trick over the steps, but as he like did it, his head hit the belt.
Oh, nice.
So it wasn't done in a way that Carmelo was cheating, but it was done in a way that like it brought into question the validity of Carmelo winning.
But Ilya kind of did it to himself by like
Yeah.
his own like sort of aggressiveness was what cost him.
Yeah, exactly. And then as Ilya's getting back in the ring, Mello hits the Mello don't miss, which is like a dive and famous to pick up the win. Yeah, really, really hard hitting match. Really, really fun. As I say, I'd recommend if you want just a good match to watch, like something a bit different. This is really fun for me. Would recommend.
So this was on Great American Bash, right?
This was the main event of Great American Bash. I don't know about any of the other matches. I literally just watched this
because NXT is just old WCW pay-per-views now. That's all they've got.
Yeah, I know Nathan Fraser and
pay-per-view No Mercy.
Pass.
Is everyone going to come down like 64-bit graphics and like do like 4 moves?
Yes.
But just kidding. No Mercy's awesome.
Everyone's going to have the same moveset, just a different reskin.
Yeah.
Which is basically a lot of the wrestlers in the Performance Center.
Sweet.
And then
there it is. We said nice things about WWE, so get off our back, you marks.
Yeah,
that's it for like 6 months now.
That's it now, yeah.
Well, speaking of WWE, obviously SummerSlam's coming up the weekend. We are going to be doing predictions later in the week.
We'll be doing with a slightly more WWE-centric panel, though, like not making it, essentially.
That'll be on the YouTubes at some point over the weekend.
Unless you want me to roll dice again, in which case I'm happy to oblige.
Yes, please. Always yes. To that one.
Right, should we get into A-Dub?
How should we get into AW? Yeah.
The worst show because we're not anyway financially.
Tony Khan's House of Lies.
I can't believe he bought all those tickets for Wembley. Anyway, let's talk about AW. So the opening match was Orange Cassidy on Dynamite, I should say. Was Orange Cassidy defending his international championship against AR Fox. Now, remember last week, Big Tasty, when I said to you, AR Fox was acting a little bit heelish at the end there.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, yeah. This is a really fun match, though. Very back and forth. They're very good matches, but we're almost starting to take them for granted now, only because like every time Orange Cassidy has a match for the international title, it follows this formula, and it's good. It's really good, but it's like if I say it's an Orange Cassidy title defense, and that just kind of makes sense. You know exactly what you're getting out of it. I love this story. I think the fact that Orange is getting more and more beaten up and broken down because he's trying and he doesn't know how to stop trying.
That's it. Like Orange Cassidy, the man who doesn't want to do anything, literally wrestling himself to self-destruction, is just one of the most beautiful storylines in wrestling.
Yeah. It's almost as good as the Bloodline, you could say.
Nothing's as good as the Bloodline, mate. That's the best storyline of all time.
Bloodline's best of all time. Can't beat that.
This is just some indie dickhead with his put his hands in his pockets.
Fucking wheels for months. Anyway.
But no, I love this. So, we come back to this all the time, don't we? Like the little promo we cut when he told Renee that he was so tired, and it was like, oh my god, that's like the most emotional thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, it was.
AR Fox really had Orange's number here as well. Like he really shown his experience, and it looked like he was gonna pick up the win.
One thing I like, and I think this is definitely deliberate, is that the beach break's looking worse and worse every time he does it.
Yeah.
Like it's at the point now where he doesn't even hold their legs anymore. He just like throws them over his shoulder and like drops backwards.
It's like almost like the orange punch was that, wasn't it? Where it was like, that's bad. Like, and then it's getting worse. And now he can't do the orange punch. So now it's like all of his moveset is slowly deteriorating.
And he's winning more and more by, like, he beat Lance with a count out. He's winning more with the mousetrap more and more and other roll ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's such a compelling, and I don't know where it's going. Like, I don't know who's going to beat him.
Well,
I would like a 4-way where Orange can't do anything and they just like murder him.
I think Orange needs to lose it in a singles match at this point, though. I feel like he's had it for that. He's had it for that long, and he's had such a successful reign that whoever beats him's a made man. So he needs to be in a singles match.
Well, how do you feel about Jon Moxley?
Hear me out here. So first of all, Orange tries to show AR respect, and Fox beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then Darby comes out and like starts kicking off at AR Fox, and AR Fox is like, "I'm so sorry, Darby," and fucks off. And then Mox comes in and just murders Orange.
So they sold this, didn't they? So this is retaliation for Orange punching Claudio at the end of Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Now, I have a feeling that Mox might be not the guy to beat Orange.
What did the juicer?
I was literally about to say, I think that Orange is going to beat Mox, because then that kind of gives Orange like that last bit of credence.
Did you see that stare down that Yuta and Orange had?
And they've got
Ring of Honor.
They've got all that history as well, haven't they? Like Orange trained Wheeler. Like they had that early AEW history when Wheeler was like, because like the whole storyline was Wheeler couldn't win when he was in the best friends because they didn't train him properly.
And Trent was awful.
They didn't take him seriously enough. They didn't like let him have these experiences. And Moxie's just like, no, you go and do murder to everyone now. It's fine.
Yeah. I think if Orange beats Mox, and this is a little bit of a wild theory, but I think it makes sense. Orange can beat Mox, get that feather in his cap, and then as soon as he drops that belt, it gives him the credence to just walk into the title picture.
Yeah,
because he's beaten John Moxley, and that's like
maybe let him have like a little bit of a break first. Let him have a little breather.
I'm go. It's fine. I want gold again.
Well, so this goes into
what if he went to the Ring of Honor one?
Well, no, this goes to something Sarah. This goes to something Sarah was saying to me the other day, and she was like, "Who is the number one babyface in AEW now?" And
Orange.
It could if Orange gets out of this international title picture, because he's had an amazing run. He could, like you said, Gray, he could walk straight into that main event. Or imagine MJF. Cole breaks down eventually. MJF's cut the promo saying like he never respected Cole or whatever. Cole's gone, and Orange Cassidy's music hits. Everyone will lose their fucking shit if Orange Cassidy walks out and challenges MJF.
Every time Orange Cassidy's music hits, it gets consistently one of the largest pops of the show.
Yeah. It's going to tear a hole in space when it happens at Wembley.
Yeah, like I am fully convinced Orange is going to get one of the top 3 biggest pops in Wembley.
Yeah.
Is going to infuriate so many people on the internet, which makes me happier than anything about it. But like, it's literally the top 3 biggest pops are going to be Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole when he does the baby, and Jarrett when My World hits. Don't argue with me.
Maybe Eddie Kingston.
Maybe Eddie Kingston if he shows up. But I doubt he'll get a big pop as Jarrett. No one's getting that big a pop.
Hey, that's why Jarrett's been down in London today filming with Troy, not Eddie Kingston.
Exactly. I hope Jarrett hit Troy with a guitar.
Just like this was perfectly pleasant to him the whole day, and literally right at the end, just says "Yo, slap nuts" and hits him with a guitar.
Listen up, slap nuts.
As Troy's packing his bags away, like putting the camera in the bag.
Oh, he forgot his lens cap.
Yeah, after all, he hits him with a guitar and goes, "You forgot your lens cap," and just puts it on his like pro body and just walks off.
Thanks for today.
So a lot of danger for Orange there. AR Fox, don't worry about it. I ain't gonna be a thing later.
Fine.
And nothing happened at all.
No. Renee Don Callis tells Jericho by being interviewed by Renee that him and Takeshita are going to team up against Garcia and Sammy. Jericho looks a bit freaked out, and then Callis has got another one of those horrible paintings. But this time it's with him and Jericho, and he says, "I'm gonna." And Jericho's like, "I can't like take that with me, man. I'm busy." And Callis is like, "Don't worry, I'll put it somewhere." And you know exactly where he's gonna put it. It's going up in Jericho's locker room. Hook's all moody because he's lost his belt.
Yeah,
he took the midnight train.
Yeah,
going anywhere.
And then I love this. So Claudio's cutting a promo backstage, and then Moxley just walks in and takes over.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is my show now."
I love the fact that Mox is like just wiping his hands, like he's like literally getting Orange off his hands.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no one punches my boys.
Yeah, because he was like, "You did it while I wasn't in the building." He was furious.
So Claudio's kicking off at Pac, and then Moxley just walks in and is like, "Yeah, I just battered Orange Cassidy, mate. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, he was so nonchalant the way he come in. We
I
then
bet
got
that wasn't even planned, you know. I bet they were just like, Mox just comes in and he's just like, yeah.
Mox will be like, Mox was probably like, yeah, I'll just come in and then we'll go from there. And then he started filming without him, so he's just like, yeah, I just killed an orange. One of the things that popped me the most of this show happened next, which was Jack Perry basically coming out and just shitting on ECW. And then top guy, Jerry Lynn, coming out and just like threatening to fucking show him who daddy is.
Ring of Honor executive.
Oh man. ECW fucking standout, Jerry Lynn. One of the best, like
who's left they can bring in from ECW? Like Rob Van Dam, like everyone's saying, but like
who can actually do away?
Yeah, who can actually go?
Yeah. Jerry Lynn's got like one last good match in him.
Jerry's got one in. Actually, like properly retired though.
Yeah, but he's still in great shape, isn't he?
He's doing all the training and stuff, isn't he? So I think he's got to be able to like go.
I think it's a coin toss between Jerry Lynn, maybe Lance Storm. Lance Storm could do one.
Absolute scenes when Taz throws one more suplex on Jack Perry.
Taz is absolutely going to Katahajime the fucking soul out of Jack.
I love that.
He's going to choke Jack Perry out to the point that he can see his dad at the pearly gates before he like releases him.
If Taz comes out all in and literally just does beat for beat his debut match with Kurt Angle in WWE, but at Wembley.
I'd love it if like Excalibur did the whole like Joey Styles like the Katahajime as like Taz is choking him the fucking soul out of Jungle Boy.
So good.
Yeah, I love Taz. What a guy. He is like getting up closer and closer to prime murdering Jungle Boy though. Like
he's getting so angry, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like when he was really pissed off about the fucking title going, and then the Shark showed up, he was like, Don't you touch me, Shark.
Go away, Chompy.
Yeah, Chompy. Taz had no time. Taz had no time for Chompy.
Taz was full blown ready to choke the shit out of Chompy. But also,
that's like 2 years that Taz like doesn't want Chompy anywhere near him as well.
It's Taz's gimmick. He hates fun. Also, I just want to say, because before I forget, this week's Dark Side of the Ring is on Bam Bam Bigelow, and Taz is great on it.
Oh, nice.
He just comes across really cool. Talking about Bam Bam.
Next up, then we had Pac v Gravity. Yeah, Gravity's good.
Both figuratively and literally.
I love the fact that Pac was going, "Do you remember me?" as he was like just squatting Gravity. I
had to explain this to Sarah. You had to explain to Sarah that Pac was the man that Gravity forgot when he was in WWE.
Yeah, and well, before WWE.
Yeah, before that.
Pre-WWE Pac, when he was in Japan, he was the man that Gravity forgot.
Before he was the bastard.
When he was in Spain, he was Jungle Pac, so he basically just like dressed as Tarzan and pretended he was a monkey. Weird. Don't worry about it.
Weird time.
But yeah, this is great. I love the fact Pac was like playing into the meme, but also really fucking angry. Gravity had a fucking huge week this week. He beat Commander. He wrestled Pac. On Ring of Honor, he beat somebody. Who was it? Anthony Henry.
Oh, nice.
Progress in the TV title tournament, and then he wrestled Samoa Joe on Collision, which
he's gonna sign, isn't he?
I think he's already signed. I think they've already done that.
Yeah.
They featured him on 4 of their 5 shows this week.
Yeah, they went big on him. Like Tony's got a real lucha thing going at the moment, hasn't he? Yeah,
but it plays into the whole WCW vibes, doesn't it? Because they had like the whole cruiserweight division with all the luchadors. Also, if you get a chance to go back and watch on Ring of Honor Gravity versus Ray Phoenix, it was a treat.
Oh, fair.
Pac Crime Gravity. He hit that avalanche brainbuster that he's been doing, which is just an actual war crime. And then locked him in the brutalizer while screaming, "Do you remember me now?" Because he's an angry, angry man.
And Gravity tapped so quick.
Oh God, yeah. Speaking of angry men, Cole and MJF were having a little laugh and a joke about
MJF's Dax impression was the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was so good.
I love the fact that you straight away went, my wife and my baby girl. And then, like, when you went to FTR later, Dak's like, if you mention my wife and my baby girl, I'm going to pull your eyes out. Yeah, Roderick Strong being a needy ex-girlfriend.
It was like the I love this business, the thing that got me. It was so good.
It was great. I really hope that this isn't the last time we see FTR and MJF do stuff.
Yeah, as you say, at the end of the spirit, Roddy Strong literally just runs in and screams, "Notice me," at Adam Cole.
Yeah. As I say, needy ex-girlfriend, Roddy Strong. And Adam Cole even says, stop being a possessive friend. It's too much.
He said, I love you, but you're being crazy.
Yeah. And then we got actual crime drama, Swerve versus Darby Allin 2.
I mean, I didn't watch a lot of wrestling this week, but this was my favorite match of the week.
This was a very, very good match. That's why. Yeah, these guys are incapable of having a bad match together.
Yeah.
Swerve terrifies me when he goes up against like someone else from like his like old promotion. No, yeah, like genuinely, I get the fear.
Anyone Swerve has a history with, he's going to try and murder them.
Yeah.
Does Darby know he doesn't have to throw himself at the barrier that hard?
Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that in a bit. Faye already knows exactly what I mean by that.
Favorite spot in this was on the outside when they set the steps up in the middle of the outside, and Darby like dodged, like Swerve went to throw him into them, and Darby like dived over them, and then as he like stood up, Swerve just ran over them and kicked him in the face.
Yeah,
that was exceptional.
There was that horrifying spot as well where Swerve hit like the DVD off the like middle rope on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's so upsetting. And then from that, a hood figure attacks Darby, and then Swerve just like crimed him with a fucking house call, and then a JML driver. Didn't he hit the house call to the back of his head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Darby was distracted. And yeah, then after the match, it's AR Fox, which did you ever think we'd live in a day and age where AR Fox and Swerve were tagging Tasty?
No, but I'm fucking here for it.
I sure as shit didn't.
All in Wembley, give me Nick Wayne and Darby versus Swerve and AR Fox.
Yeah.
I'd take Nick Wayne versus AR Fox, and then Darby versus Swerve.
The last time I saw Nick Wayne in the UK was in Hangar 34. If the next time I see him is in fucking Wembley Stadium, then what the fuck?
I know.
That's like the ultimate glow.
In like literally just under a year.
Yeah.
As well.
He ain't gonna be four on top of Aaron at Wembley, is he? Fucking hell.
I hope so, because it'll be falling on me as well. Like, Nicky! Yeah, one thing I will say as well before we move on from Swerve, I love the fact with his entrance now, like before he comes out, Prince Nana's coming out living his best life, dancing and boogieing, and Swerve comes out like an actual serial killer. It's just like such a weird.
It's a great little juxtapose, isn't it?
Where just Prince Nana's just like vibing, just dancing around like a fucking tit. It's so good.
But yeah, AR Fox, he joins the Mogul Embassy, so like he holds up the t-shirt at the end, and Nana gives him a t-shirt, and yeah, he holds that up. So
and then they do skateboard murder.
Yeah,
they do.
Ooh. Next up, Chris Jericho has pissed off all the JS. They basically, I think, what was it? One of them said, "We appreciate you, but you don't appreciate us."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Daddy Magic says, "Until you start giving us 100%, we can't do the same."
Yeah, Daddy Magic made me feel emotions, man. Like, what's going on?
And Angelo Parker as well.
Oh, cool. And Ange nearly gave him back the comb.
He got the comb. I was like, "You gave me this," and like, look, he's like, "But I'm going to keep it."
I love Cool Hand Ange. He's so fucking. He's such a like B-level like villain, isn't he?
He should be in like fucking West Side Story or something. It's great.
He's literally like Goon number 2 in like a fucking crime film.
Hey, it's the bear, like that guy in like every Batman thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Ty Mello as well, starting it out while being pregnant.
Yeah.
Love that. Next up then, Britt Baker versus Taya. Not.
Yikes.
It was a lot better than it was a lot better than people are making out on the internet. I'll give you that. Like the last little bit, I thought was really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, because it's got a lot of undue criticism, and while I didn't think it was a good match, I think a lot of better wrestlers have had a lot worse matches because they haven't clicked together.
Yeah, and I think this was just a case of them not quite having the chemistry right at the moment.
That was like, you know what else that was like? That was like Thunder Rosa, the second Thunder Rosa and Mia. You mashed the match. They didn't seem to have that chemistry until the end with that either.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for me, I think as well, you're so used to Brit having these stand, like every match is a fucking standout, you know what I mean? Like when Brit wrestles.
Yeah.
That like you could really notice it that when they didn't click, and I think that's what it was.
It just felt they were just like half a second out of sync, almost like it wasn't quite. It just didn't quite click. It wasn't quite there, was it? But I'm sure they'll run it back at some point. They'll run it back at some point and they'll nail it event down the line somewhere, and it'll be great. And we'll forget all about this because it was a match on TV, so who cares?
Yeah. As I say, it got a lot of undue criticism. I think people just need to remember these are people too.
Yeah.
It was, as I say, I didn't think it was a good match. I thought you could tell they didn't click and they didn't have chemistry together. And as I said as well, there's been a lot better wrestlers than these two who've had a lot worse chemistry.
Yeah.
And had absolute stinkers, and they didn't get half the criticism these two got. So yeah, it's a shame. I think they'll probably be quite driven to have a really good match if they do run it back.
Yeah.
If they don't, oh well. It is what it is, I guess.
Yep, and the main event, triple threat tag team match, BCC. So that was Claudio and Mox versus the Lucha Bros versus the Best Friends, and this was just a lovely clusterfuck on it. This was like this was like, remember back in the day when Dynamite used to always start with like a really frenetic tag match.
Yeah,
this was like one of them, but in the main event.
Yeah.
I love the fact that as Mox and Claudio were entering, Lucha Bros and Best Friends were already brawling.
Yeah.
Claudio just appeared and just uppercutted Penta into Phoenix.
Yeah.
There was a lot of upsetting spots in this match. I think, didn't Yuta try and get involved, and Orange came down and like Orange punched them.
Yeah. So Orange came down to sort of like deal with whatever was going on, and Yuta ran up towards him to like cut him off, and Orange just battered him. One Orange punch just like, and just deleted him basically.
Yeah.
And then Mox was just like, "What do you do to my son?"
Yeah.
And just like came out the ring and was just after him.
Because there was no DQ, was there? So like this was all like uninterrupted as well, like by the refs.
Yeah, because it was a triple threat match, so there was no DQs.
And once again, the Best Friends give me the hope that they were going to win a match. When Trent hit his finisher on Claudio, and the ref was like, "Claudio's not legal," and then the Lucha Bros just came in and crimed him.
And what's that finisher called, Jay?
Fear Factor.
What, Trent's?
Oh no, Trent's is Crunchy.
Yes, there we are. I was just checking.
The funniest bit was like halfway through, someone made a tag. And then Excalibur was like, "That's the first tag we've had in this match."
I mean, I think it would have been. This probably could have been a tornado match. They could have just let all 6 guys just go like this, and it probably would have been fine.
I feel like they might be building up to it.
Well, they've got that anything goes match, haven't they? Like after this,
yeah.
But it was really weird. Best Friends like whole place in this of like the mediator, because they were just beating up both BCC and Best Friends.
It's because BCC are kind of heels. Death Triangle are kind of heels. And Best Friends are beloved.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because like after, this all stemmed from the main event of Death Before Dishonor. So Pac and Claudio had the match, and then afterwards, well, not the main event, the co-main event. After the match, Lucha Bros came out because BCC's not beating up Pac, and then Lucha Bros came out to save him. And then for some reason, Best Friends just came out and like, "Yeah, we want to have a fight as well," and they just got into it.
It was because of what happened in the tag title match.
Yeah, and I guess Pac and Orange just sworn enemies forever, aren't they, as well? So
yeah, well, it's because Penta hit hit Trent with the chair, which then cut his eye open.
Yes.
And Chuck,
And he came
Chuck
out
was
still
like,
bleeding.
Trent came out. Trent came out for that receipt.
And Chuck was like, "The fuck you just do to my friend?" And him and Peck were throwing hands.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, if it gets sexy Chucky T at Wembley, I'm fucking here for it.
Absolutely.
Let Chucky T say shit at Wembley.
Yes, please.
I don't think the world's ready for that.
So yeah, fun Dynamite. I do think, especially now the Collision has like split the roster a bit, you really miss the Elite when they're not around on these shows.
Yeah.
Like there was, I mean, BCC is still Mox and Claudio, big names, but like there was nothing from Kenny, nothing from the Bucks, nothing from Hanger, and I think that really, I know obviously they had a week off after Blood and Guts because they went fucking hard, but like, I don't know, it just felt like there's a little bit of star power missing.
You know, didn't have a week off. The fucking team that lost because they're not amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to quickly run this down? Rampage, Tasty.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, take us through Rampage. I have seen some bits. I haven't seen this, but I've seen some bits. I saw Commander's insane, like rope spring Canadian Destroyer on Kip Sabian, which looked ridiculous.
Yeah, that was such a good match.
I was about to say that was definitely the standout match of the show, because when Kip Sabian's allowed to go, sweet fancy Moses can he go?
Yeah.
There was a number one contenders tag team battle royal. I won't go into it too much, but Brian Cage and Big Bill defeated the Hardys.
Butcher and the Blade should have won.
To be honest, I thought the Hardys were going to win it at one point.
Nice to see Butcher and the Blade make it to the final two, though. That's cool.
They always do, though, don't they? They always make it to the final.
They are battle royal specialists who don't quite win battle royals.
And I think Faye, you'll probably attest to this as well. Ethan Page is so fucking over right now.
That man, so weird. Yeah.
Not though, because he's awesome. Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's weird that like he's gone from like protesting this whole Matt Hardy thing to like just now like absolutely living his life.
Yeah, it's because he's great. Let him just be fucking awesome and like win belts, please. Yeah, Commander versus Kip Sabian was tremendous.
Yeah.
Just go and watch that if you watch anything from this show, I'd say.
I will do.
Kingdom beat a bunch of jobbers, yeah.
Do the Kingdom need a squash match? Like, what's going on with that?
Don't worry about it. Dark Order got a pretty cool promo. It was kind of like they were teasing that they're going back more to their sort of Dark Order roots.
It felt like the exact same promo as the other week, except that it had added ROH footage on it.
Right.
I feel like they're kind of slow building this a little bit to re-establish the Dark Order, as I say, to like what they were when they first started out.
I love on this week's BTE, like a lot of the storyline was Colt was looking for people to do bits with, and he came to the Dark Order and he was like, hey guys, and they were like, "No, we're spooky now, fuck off."
Yeah, they were mean.
Alex Reynolds can fucking pull off a three-piece.
Oh yeah,
he looked
absolutely
fantastic.
I've
been waiting for someone to say this.
He looked like a fucking snack in that three-piece.
Oh, he looked gorgeous.
And yet, main event was Shida defeating Nyla Rose. This was a really, really fun match as well.
Yeah, it was.
As I say, like I have to. Also on BTE, Nyla screaming at Colt, "Go back to Chicago already!" was fucking hilarious.
Obviously, Nyla Rose and Shida they had a lot of history. Obviously, they were the second and third women's champions. Yeah. So yeah, that was
and they played into that in the build-up as well. Like Shida was saying, "I want to get myself back in the title picture," and then Nyla said, "When I was champion, last the world shut down."
Yeah.
So she didn't get to have like a proper run with the belt. Really, these two have great chemistry, don't they? Just really good. Marina Shafir added a nice little element to it as well, where she was like attacking Shida out like behind the rest back. As I say, match of the show was Commander versus Kip Sabian, but this was definitely a close second.
Yeah. To be fair, it wasn't a bad Rampage.
No, because Tony Khan doesn't like us fucking sleeping.
Yeah. He just once to say, "We'll only do bangers on Rampage," and he was like, "Sounds."
It's almost like since Collision started, it's like, right, we don't need Rampage's story anymore, so let's just have fire matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, okay.
And then that takes us to Collision. Speaking of fire matches, Andrew Daddy, Andrade El Idolo,
Yeah.
which Ian Riccaboni spent all week stressing over. You fucking monsters. Defeated Buddy Matthews.
I haven't seen it. Has he learned how to say El Idolo, or is he still doing it wrong?
Did you not see the tweet you put out? Which is like
No.
a schedule for a week. It was like a schedule. It was like, take the kids to school, tell my wife about a training, existential dread, and then at 8 o'clock every night, it was anxiety about saying Andrade El Idolo right. And then like he said, it's shown like his Friday thing, and it was like go for dinner with Nigel to plan Collision. 2 hours of Ring of Honor, 8 o'clock. Say Andrade El Idolo right for the love of God, Ian. And then after the show, it was just a happy wrestling show ends. It was like beautifully Ian Riccaboni in the sense it was really light-hearted but also slightly dark. I sent him a little tweet after, like, commenting on it, say please never ever change Ian, and he liked it today, which made me happy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but this ladder match was an absolute fucking banger.
Yeah, I've just read as you were telling that anecdote. I just had a quick glance through the coverage of it on the internet, and it sounds like it fucking slapped.
It was so good.
My only criticism on it was I felt like the finish was a little bit overbooked, but that was just because like they literally had Andrade they had Andrade get handcuffed to the ring post, then steal the key off Julia because he like kicked the chair into Buddy's face, uncuff himself, cuff Buddy. Julia and Buddy were trying to like use bolt cutters as the handcuffs. Julia then climbed up the ladder onto Andrade's back. Buddy managed to get himself uncuffed, and then Andrade basically threw Julia
pushed Buddy
off
down.
the ladder.
He pushed Buddy down first, and then Julia climbed over Andrade, sit facing him, and then looked what I didn't like, right? And like I understand that, like,
looked scared by it.
Looked scared by it, and I was like, that's not what Julia is. Like,
Julia Hart's a nihilist at heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, he pushed Julia into Buddy, and they both fell through the table. And Andrade won, but the match itself, leading up to the finish, was very, very, very good.
And it wasn't a bad finish; it was just chaotic.
It wasn't a bad finish. It was just a little bit overbooked for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Buddy, I don't know if he dislocated the shoulder or not, but
yeah,
halfway through the match, he went over to the.
I saw that and just getting his shoulder popped back in, and I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, but a very fun match. Both men took some horrific bumps. I think Buddy took the worst of that powerbomb onto the ladder because the ladder, like, it wasn't on the apron, it was like on the ropes, so he bounced really fucking high and then back down onto the apron.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but it was really good match. Again, if you get a chance to watch it, do go out your way to. Miro was interviewed backstage by Tony Schiavone and then attacked by Aaron Solo. So
Aaron Solo wants to die?
Well, I think we're getting that this is leading to Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which I'm okay with.
Right.
Next, Darby
It's still
Allin.
very cryptic, though.
It was. But I feel like that's where they're going. If QTV are attacking Miro, that probably means Hobbs is going to come for him. Next, Darby Allin issued an open challenge saying he wanted to fight, and Murder Grandad's music hit, and we got unexpected banger Darby Allin versus Minoru Suzuki.
If anyone's music's going to hit on an open challenge, Kazuya is one of the best, isn't it?
But he got a fucking huge pop as well. He got such a big pop. When it said before about Darby doing dives, he did a dive on Suzuki and completely missed.
Oh dear.
And like landed on his fucking head.
Everything about this match was painful. Like,
yes, Suzuki just beat the shit out of Darby for 10 minutes.
The best bit though was when Darby went for the coffin drop and Suzuki just got him in the bulldog.
The finish.
Yeah.
Would you say it was more of a coffin flop?
It was. Darby hit a coffin drop. Suzuki caught him into a rear naked choke, and then Darby like rolled through and like just about got a 3 count, and right. Suzuki was like furious and tried to kill the referee. yeah, then Little Christian and Luchasaurus back and forth thing, just saying Darby isn't ready to challenge for the title. Then there was Tony Storm promo and Shida, that was fine. Then we got Samoa Joe versus Gravity, which was fun.
So again, I have seen. This is basically a squash, wasn't it? But I have seen.
It was a squash.
I have seen that bit where
Joe,
Joe does the walk away from the top rope spot, except he does it in slow motion.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Gravity did the slow mo twice, and you could see Joe was getting pissed off. So then when he did that, like it got such a big pop, as it should. And yeah, Joe just killed Gravity with a muscle buster. But yeah, Gravity's super over.
And then it's time for your mandatory CM Punk promo.
Ugh. He's a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
So he said, "Oh, maybe we'll reveal a match for All In before the end of the night." Did they bollocks?
So I love at the start of Dynamite. We'll go back to the start of Dynamite. Excalibur said they're on the road to All In, and then they announced nothing for All In.
Yeah,
But continued to sell tickets.
Did you see what Bully Ray said about it? Which
What if they just did like nothing announced?
Which is fine.
But they won't. But you
So-
need to sell pay-per-view buys, don't you? So you need at least a few matches. Have a few open challenges, maybe, if you want surprises. But I think you need to announce a few matches just to sell the pay-per-view buys.
To be fair, they get the pay-per-view buys by the fact it's in Wembley.
Yeah.
People wanting to see if they've sold out the if they've actually sold out the stadium, and it's not just Tony Khan buying all those tickets. The fucking
I mean, it's gonna be weird. Sat next to all of those cardboard cutouts in it.
That snake oil.
There's going to be
peddler
cardboard
Tony
cutouts
Khan.
for Troy. Fine.
Just every seat. Troy hasn't even got a ticket. He was just lying to us.
Tony Khan. And yeah, so Punk basically keeps calling Ricky Starks a cheater because he's a piece of garbage. He then pulls out the AW World title from the bag and says he never lost it, never pinned or submitted.
Oh no! And what was
Interestingly-
even worse? So he was like,
Well-
I didn't, not because I deserved it, but because I earned it.
Well,
Oh, it made me mad.
interestingly, he outright mentioned that he won it at All Out, and he said, "I won it a night in September
John
in
Moxley.
Chicago from John Moxley, and then it was taken from me." Which is an interesting way to put it.
I mean, just shouldn't
Again-
have webbed Nick Jackson, should he? And it would have been all right.
He fucking deserved it. He's probably talking about how much money he makes. Anyway,
I mean, we've
So-
all wanted to hit Nick Jackson, but like you can't just do it.
what a very punchable face both of them have. Anyway, I can just see Faye's like cat ears on her headset just going back and forth like she's shaking her head.
They just turned red when we said that as well, which was really thematic, which was really on brand.
I mean, yeah, it's not my fault. The Young Bucks are really unlikable people.
Shut the
Anyway,
fuck
so-
up.
So CM Punk puts his logo, a big black X,
Over the E.
over the E in AEW because he hates the Elite. Also, Elon bust his belt by putting it, basically getting it when no one wanted him to, devaluing it, and then putting a big black X on it.
Yep.
AXW wrestling.
Just like Musk has done to all of our phones this week by changing Twitter to a stupid X.
Ugh.
Speak for yourself. I've still got the beard.
Oh, mine went on like Friday. It was bad times.
Mine's
I-
gone to
I-
the X, but still says Twitter as the app name.
Oh yeah, that's just they fired all the people who like can make the app work, so that's never going to change.
Apple haven't approved the update yet on it, so I've still got it.
Apple
Yeah.
Station.
Yeah. The vengeful ghost of Steve Jobs is just telling you what Musk to fucking do one. Anyway, Ricky Starks comes out and his music doesn't hit. Anyway, he goes, wait. Let me go back so my music hits and I can surprise you all. And Nigel McGuinness goes, as he comes out, Nigel McGuinness goes, "Oh my God, that's Ricky Starks!"
It was so good.
Which was just fucking brilliant.
Yeah. He was like, this is completely unplanned and unprecedented. It was like,
Yeah.
that's
And then
amazing.
Ricky Starks, considering the kind of like teasing at Ricky's heel, they haven't outright said he is. He's obviously acting a bit more heelish. He was over as fuck here. Like,
Yeah.
he was very much a heel who made good points if he was a heel. Punk, as soon as Punk put the X on the belt, everyone's booing him.
Right.
Before he even did that, he came out and got booed and had to like stop talking, like to
Yeah,
Shivani.
but when he had there was a split at least with the crowd when he put the X on it, like he lost the crowd. And Ricky stays over. Like he's just got that kind of like a young CM Punk where he was sort of like a bit of an anti-hero. Like he was a dickhead, but he was our dickhead sort of thing. So yeah, Ricky challenges Punk to the belt and everyone got really excited. I got really nervous because I thought Punk's just going to squash Ricky in Wembley and upset me. And
I will be able to see like where you're sitting, but I'll be able to see your tears from where I'm sitting.
The existential crisis I'll go through if CM Punk beats Ricky Starks in front of me will upset me so much. It'd be like if like Face or like the Young Bucks get hurt in person.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Probably worse. Anyway, yeah, Ricky Starks challenges Punk. Punk says special guest referee is going to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Interesting fact about this: the only time Ricky Steamboat has guest refereed a Punk match was in Ring of Honor. He was very stringent about rope breaks, which Bryan Danielson kept telling him he has 5 for referee.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Punk lost. So feels very much like Punk's getting his win back here. Also, basically, Punk is channeling Hollywood Hogan at this point. Like he literally, that's all he's doing. He's Hollywood Hogan.
I mean, tell you what about Punk, he understands wrestling, doesn't he? Like you have to give him that.
Yeah,
he does. I think he's being very smart in a weird way, trying to still act like the righteous babyface when people hate him. Because eventually, when he does fully turn, everyone's gonna fucking hate him. It's not gonna be like he's a cool heel. It's gonna be like everybody fucking hates him.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, I told you so.
Don't worry about it. We need to move on. So we'll get probably what will be Big Tasty's entrance of the year when he sees it if he hasn't already.
I've seen it. I've watched it like 9 times.
The Bullet Club, the Bang Bang Gang, Mr. Collision, Juice Robinson, and the Gun Club defeated El Higo, Del Vikingo, Action Andretti, and Darius Martin. That entrance, though, of the guns, like with the lights up and like it going round, and then Juice just looking like a coked up lunatic in between them, shaking his head.
He looks like a deranged goblin in the middle of them, just
going
fucking nuts.
Entrance of the year. Juice Robinson is we'll get to that.
Give me that at Wembley with many men, and that's all I need.
It's so funny because like they like took like Jay White obviously left New Japan. And they were like, oh no, we'll put Finlay in there, and then like he'll be the relevant Bullet Club, and it's just not fucking happened at all.
No, but Bang Gang forever.
No, you know what I mean. Obviously, the War Dogs.
The War Dogs are fucking killing it.
No, War Dogs are great, but I just can't stand fact, David Finlay.
The War Dogs currently have the best-selling shares in New Japan.
Yeah, they do.
Driller's doing bits.
Driller is doing bits.
You know what Driller's doing when this podcast goes out?
What?
Wrestling at the bread shed, being Dave Batista.
Really?
On Tuesday Night Graps, he's part of Evolution with G Money. G Money's Ric Flair and Driller's Batista.
Nice.
My God.
Yeah, they're also doing the custody of Dominic ladder match, which Lycos is.
It's Lycos, isn't it?
Lycos 2's Ray, which I'm fucking here for. But yeah, so this match, the best part of it was
the cardboard cutout of Jay White.
Just before the break, they pulled out a cardboard cutout of Jay White, and they were acting like it was a real person. To the point that Juice was like cutting a promo with his arm around it.
Amazing.
And they put him literally on like the hard cam side on the ring post to the point that it was always in shot, and to the point that if there wasn't anything going on in the corner, the cameraman was having to move the camera because it was too distracting that Jay White cardboard cutout was there. And yeah, I
And
fucking
at
love
the
it.
end, when they posed, they brought out the cardboard cutout like in the ring and stood him where Jay normally stands.
Nice.
Yeah. That promo they did backstage where like Austin was there voicing Jay and in like a really bad Kiwi accent.
Angry
And
Kiwi noises.
And Juice just basically had it so like the cardboard cutout had its arm around him, and he was like cutting promos.
Yeah, because he was like doing like the gun thing, wasn't he? Like he was doing the extended arm.
He did the guns up with it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Next up we had pretty much a squash match, wasn't it? Mercedes just beating Kiera. It wasn't very long, which is a shame because Kiera Hogan's really fucking good. I would have liked to see more, but this basically led to Chris Statlander coming out and having a bit of a stare down with Mercedes, and then Mercedes having.
Yeah, that'd be
well.
fun.
I think they might be doing a fatal four-way because Mercedes hits Chris with the belt, and then Willow comes and makes the save. So they could do feasibly all four of those women for the TBS title.
Yeah,
I think at very least it's going to be a triple threat, but I'd throw Kiera Hogan in there just because why not? She's great. And in the main event, FTR defeated Better Than You Baby by pinning MJF.
Yeah, so I saw the ending of this as well. So MJF pushes Cole out of the way and takes the shot machine.
Yeah.
In an act of pure selflessness.
Yeah, so every time they went for the double clothesline, Bald and Hair had a response for it. Again, it was just come down to obviously Bald and Hair are a better tag team than Cole and MJF because they've been tagging longer together. Just purely down to experience.
Also, it was still like it was facing Cole and MJF separately as well.
Yeah. After the match was what was interesting though, because basically MJF's like sat in the corner crying, saying, "I blew it, I'll let us down." And Cole goes to get the belt and gives it to MJF and is like, "You're the AEW champion." And then MJF just stands up and he's got this look on his face like he's going to murder Cole. And the way this was shot was fucking tremendous. So Cole's got his back to MJF and obviously like realizes the crowd are like have turned like the way they're sort of responding. And he just goes, "I knew it." And just puts his hands out and goes, "Go on, just do it."
Regal.
Yeah. And MJF can't, so he drops the belt and they hug.
Aww.
And it got like the biggest pop ever. Friendship wins.
Did you see the video after when it went on the air?
Where they were eating pizza and having tequila with FTR.
But MJF was like, like really putting over FTR, and it felt so strange.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
But yeah, it was a really, really good match. Not as good as the match with Bullet Club Gold a couple of weeks ago, but it was still a very, very good match.
Yeah.
And I think that this is gonna. I feel like this is gonna lead to probably Cole and MJF at All In. I think that's where we're going now because MJF's already said Cole can have the title shot.
Yeah.
On Dynamite this week. So I feel like that's where we're going with this. But yeah,
I'd love for them to find a way to do MJF and Cole versus Jay and Juice. I'd love for that to manifest somehow, but I don't think it will.
It'd be good if that was like the thing that kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Imagine just like Juice Robinson like cutting promos on MJF.
It's more of a case of like, because like Jay and obviously Adam Cole have got that whole thing where Jay pinned Adam for the belt, for the IWGP belt. But like the thing is, if But if they go into it face and Bullet Club like the heel, it could be a game like MJF refuses to go heel, and that's what cost them the match. And like MJF realizes he can't be like this and win.
Well, MJF is still being heel in the matches.
Oh no, but I mean, like, if you put like them against Bullet Club, like if he tries to not do it like that, like if he tries to not like hit them with the belt or something, and then that then cost them the match. MJF then realizing I can't win matches if he took another pin. Like I can't win matches and be like a good person.
Yeah, it's almost like MJF comes to the realization like I'm trying to be a better person, but it just isn't getting me what I want.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Yeah, although the only thing with that again is that like it's more that Cole's kind of leaning into MJF's tendencies than MJF is leaning into Cole's sort of babyface tendencies. Like
it's like MJF's Cole's making MJF more babyface like outside the ring, but I think MJF's kind of making Cole a little bit more heel inside the ring.
He isn't making Cole more heel. He's making Cole realize what made him successful.
Mm-hmm.
They're sort of bleeding into each other's personalities, but aren't they? Which is like going to be really interesting when they do fall out. Like which way how are they going to separate? Like where's everyone going to go?
Well, I've seen on Twitter people campaigning for babyface MJF versus heel CM Punk at All Out.
Oh,
I
mean,
yeah, I nearly said all in there, but no, thank you.
I think you could turn MJF face against Punk if you did it properly, if you did it right.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Speaking of All In, it looks like we may have our first match announcement.
Just breaking news.
It's very breaking news. Andrade El Idolo has challenged Malachi Black to a match at All In.
Oh, hello.
I'd be okay with that.
He's only put it on Twitter, but he said, he basically said, I want the next one. I'd like to see you face to face at All in London because you're European and it's with your people.
He does know about Brexit, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then
he's just Kip say that.
He's just said Mexico versus Netherlands. And then just put All In as like the hashtag.
Fair, yeah.
I'd be okay with that. One of the best takeover matches we've had. Yes, please. I'm going to watch that after this.
Before we finish off with some news, should we debut our belated news segment?
I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah.
So this is Wrestler of the Week. Are we all going to pick one?
I think we should agree on one.
Nah, it's too hard.
Should we all put one forward and then we can decide who the consensus pick should be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Faye, do you want to go first?
Orange Cassidy.
Jay?
Come back to me, I'm having a think.
I'll have Darby Allin because Suzuki, Swerve, 2 really good matches.
I was torn between Darby Allin and someone else, so Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Now what we do is we put the poll on Twitter with these and then everyone else can vote.
No, I'll put it on the podcast on Spotify. So people can vote. So if you're listening to this podcast, make sure there'll be a question somewhere on like your anchor player or whatever, and it'll pop up. Normally it just says, what do you think of this episode? It's bullshit. I will change it to who is your Wrestler of the Week. And then Jay, when we tweet out the podcast, do you want to put it on Twitter as well? So people can vote on Twitter as well, maybe?
Can do, yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
When it goes on YouTube, I can add that on YouTube as well.
So you can all vote for Darby Allin. Because only one of those wrestlers we mentioned beat Murder Grando this week, didn't they? So, you know.
Well, this week, yeah.
Right, should we wrap it up with a little bit of news?
I was thinking of saying Juice Robinson, but no.
Juice Robinson's just wrestler of all time, so that's not fair.
Eddie Kingston, what are you talking about?
Juice Robinson's wrestler of Saturday every week.
Yeah, wrestler of every Saturday. No, Eddie Kingston is the default pick. If we can't, if ever we forget to do this, it's just Eddie Kingston. That's the rules.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. That's just the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we'll do a little bit of news before we finish. It's been a while since we've done any news, and there has been a bit. I want to talk about something really cool first, and that is this week we had possibly, according to, I'm not a wrestling historian, but we might have had the first ever singles match to feature 2 transgender wrestlers, which is fucking incredible.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Friend of the podcast, Helen Charlotte Campbell was one of the people.
friends of the podcast.
Yep.
Aria check.
An Aria check.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, like, I didn't even know this match was happening. I think it was a last minute match.
Yeah, so Barry put a post up saying that they were literally about to go to the show just to watch it, and then Aria got a call and said, "Someone's pulled out. Can you come and wrestle?"
Yeah.
Awesome.
And she just like threw her gear in a backpack and like got to the show and did it, and then like what a fucking queen, like absolute hero.
I can't wait until the day that I see Aria wrestle. Like, you have no idea. Like, because like they were she was in a rumble, no, in the infamous one. It was really sunny and everyone got sunburned. She was in that rumble.
Was that the one in a field?
Yeah, the one in the field.
Was that the one where the picture of her and Barry was up?
Yes.
Barry's just like sunburned.
Yeah.
Like
well, that's the thing. Apparently, everyone was like getting mad chops as well, but like everyone was sunburned.
Like, is that chest red because of chops or sunburn or both?
Both. Because Pud was there. He was like, no, everyone was like sunburned and everyone was chopping each other, and it was awful. But yeah, I'm so excited to see Aria wrestle. You have no idea. Like, yeah. And Helen's great. I know that Helen is going to be at OTP on the 3rd of September, so I'm very excited for that. That's going to be a really good card. That
also, if you get a VIP ticket, you can get your photo taken with her.
Yes, you can. I'm going to that. I'm excited. Even though I've got All In like a couple of days before, I'm still going to go to that.
Well, speaking of All In, can we talk about who's not going to be at All In? Sad times.
Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter will not be at All In. Obviously,
she's not wrestling at all.
Yeah, she's not going to be cleared. Her injury's really bad, apparently. They're talking about end of year, maybe like next year for a return.
Are they going to strip the title?
Sorry?
Are they going to strip the title?
Off who?
Jamie. Oh, Jamie doesn't have it? Oh, God, I know. That's what happened last time. Yeah.
They had her lose to Tony Storm in a shonky match because she was fucked.
I live in this world where Jamie Hayter's still champion.
We all want to live in that world, let's face it.
She's the champion in our hearts.
Yeah.
That's it.
I've seen one rumor, like really disturbing rumor, that someone said it might be like a potential career-threatening injury, like she's got some sort of back problem. But I don't know if that's.
I really hope that's not true.
I don't know if that's anyway true. All I know is Meltzer said that she's not going to be back in time for All In.
Well, it was her arm that she'd injured, wasn't it?
Yeah. And maybe she just inherited Britt's back injury. I don't know. Maybe people are just getting mixed up. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of talk like she might be out for the rest of the year, which really sucks. Please, Jamie, get better, come back soon, and clothesline everyone into oblivion, including all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of sucks. There have been some wrestling-related passings.
While we're on the subject of women's wrestling, actually, there has been a departure from WWE, which to lean into Siren's Fury, this is very exciting because it's Aaliyah James, who was from NXT UK, who was signed to NXT. I don't know when she got released, but she announced it on her Twitter today.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen her, she's really fucking good.
Yes.
Well, that might be good for Siren's Fury then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I'll be honest. It's good for the UK wrestling scene in general.
Yeah.
She's really fucking talented.
Yeah. So I say a couple of wrestling passings to report on. Sadly, so earlier today, Adrian Street passed away. Adrian Street was a very flamboyant wrestler who blazed a lot of trails for a lot of the wrestlers that came after him. So sad to see him.
There's a really good documentary about his life on the WWE network.
Oh, nice.
And he also beat up Jimmy Savile, which is important.
I mean, that's essential, isn't it?
Yeah. He also made Dude Loves Ring Gear.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, really?
I only found out today, which is just a cool fact. Yeah, he was obviously born in the UK.
Yeah, he's Welsh, wasn't he?
So
yeah.
Welsh, yeah. He wrestled all over the UK, Germany, Mexico, Canada. He's quite a big name in like the old school NWA as well. Really ahead of his time. and apparently he'd recently had brain surgery, and it was kind of due to obviously ongoing health issues. He was 82 years old.
Mm.
If as I say, Tom Clark's like a pillar of knowledge for this. He knows a lot about Adrian Street.
Yeah, I imagine you'll be talking about him a lot on the next podcast. So if you're listening to Tom Clark's main event,
I may or may not be on this week. I'm not too sure yet.
So you best brush up on your Adrian Street because you're going to be talking a lot about him. But yeah, really, like you say, really trailblazed a lot. Like really, very flamboyant, exotic, very sort of camp. Broke down a lot of barriers. I think broke down a lot of doors in wrestling at the time.
Yeah, his ring attire included a lot of like glittery makeup, like pastel face paint, and he'd have his bleached hair in pigtails. And one things he used to do to get out of pins was kiss his opponents on the head, and he'd freak out. It was the 80s, and he was scared of gays.
Another sort of wrestling adjacent passing. Paul Rubens, better known to most people as Pee Wee Herman. He passed away yesterday after an undisclosed until very recently 6-year battle with cancer.
Yeah,
Which sounds like it absolutely sucks. I think he's been on Raw. He's been in WWE numerous times. I think he guest hosted Raw and stuff like that.
He guest hosted an episode of Raw. He'd shown up at WrestleMania before. He'd been in WWE, like on WWE quite a lot. I would be very surprised if he hasn't already. I'm not sure if he's been inducted into the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. If he hasn't already, I'd be very surprised if he didn't get inducted this year.
Yeah. Is there an honors section of his Wikipedia page? I'm scrolling on it now.
I mean,
he played Bathmite in Batman: The Brave and the Bold, the video game.
He did.
And his last appearance was in Bob's Burgers this year.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
That's nice.
There is no. I can't tell. He did a lot of Batman stuff. Actually, he was in Legends of Tomorrow. He was in Gotham. He was in
I remember him.
Lego Batman.
He was fantastic in Gotham. He played the Penguin's dad, and he was horrible in it, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
There you go. He was in WWE in 2010. He was guest host of Raw in 2010. The same year he had a role in Adventure Time. So there you go. What a career.
Wow.
He's also in Star Wars Rebels as RX-24. He's been in anything you like as a child. He was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was in Star Wars Rebels. He was in Batman. He was in Phineas and Ferb, American Dad.
He was a recurring droid in the Star Wars animated stuff.
Yeah. He was in Rugrats. He was in Ally McBeal. He was motherfucker Sesame Street. Like, he was in everything. Like, literally everything. He was in 30 Rock for an episode. Yeah, fucking everything, mate. Just obviously
assume that he's been in a thing that you've watched.
If you've seen something on telly, he's probably been in it somewhere. Anything else then before we wrap it all up?
Xavier Woods has been talking. He did like an Ask Me Anything. First of all, he said that Chugs is his favorite The Party member. Which,
oh, nice. Obviously.
It's not going to be fuck Breezy, is it? Hates Breezy. Also, something that not too long ago come out was that he said that he wants to bring back the white leather WWE Intercontinental title, which means
yes, please.
Which means Woodsy's after that IC belt. Which yes, please. I think he was meant to be having a pay-per-view match with Gunther before he got. I don't know if he got hurt or something happened to him. Don't think he's been doing much recently anyway, but
a lot of up, down stuff, isn't it?
He has. He's been streaming. Oh fuck! What game was it? He's been streaming a game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Also, Seth Rollins has said a very interesting little tidbit here about, when NXT was like a reality show.
Yeah. So
he was meant to be on the final season, and his pro was going to be CM Punk.
Wow.
Which, I mean, also to be included on the season was Big E and Xavier Woods. He said while it wasn't confirmed, he while it wasn't confirmed, he said I was very closely aligned with CM Punk at the time. He would probably have been my pro, had they have gone down that road. Obviously, that was just before
The Shield.
Before actual like NXT became like its own thing.
Yeah. So it was like still FCW type thing.
NXT was like a weekly game show, essentially.
Yeah. It's when Titus fell over
okay.
carrying the keg and did the first slide.
It was. But it did have its merits. Like, it
Seriously,
brought
right? They had in the first series, Bryan Danielson was on there, and his pro was The Miz, where the whole sort of feud came from. Well, I remember one of the early episodes, they had to like do like an obstacle course, and part of it included chugging a large soda. And The Miz was on commentary saying that Bryan Danielson wouldn't be able to do it because he was a vegan.
Yeah. Also, they did do the whole storyline of them going, "Oh, you're from the Independents," and just having him have like banging matches with people out, but like losing. Like, he had on the first episode, he had like a really, really good match with Jericho.
Yeah.
That's where the whole Miz and Bryan feud started. Like,
oh right, okay.
Because Miz was his pro, that's why they ended up doing that massive feud for like years in WWE that like fizzled out and died because WWE.
Right, before we sign off, can we just talk about a couple of upcoming things? So first of all, obviously we'll talk about this next week. It is the 200th episode of Dynamite this week, which is mad when you consider that Nitro only got 273 episodes.
Don't worry about
The Collision now, it's a continuation.
So that's awesome. So there's gonna be some big matches. The big main event is Trent versus Penta versus Moxley, and anything goes trio type triple threat match, which is gonna absolutely fuck. Speaking of things that are gonna absolutely fuck, me and Faye are off to Atomic this week.
So excited.
Yeah, so this is Atomic's third show. It's at Aztecs Brewery in Liverpool. It's my favorite place to go watch wrestling because they have delicious craft beer, which not a lot of places do when you go and watch wrestling, and I get a real kick out of it. I also get to see my ex-flatmate Mark go fucking feral at wrestling, which is hilarious.
He's so lovely.
He's a fucking piece of shit. Don't you ever say nice things.
He is lovely. He's so nice.
They also have pizza. They also have some pizza there, so you can come straight from work and get something to eat. We're going to go to Costco first and get the big pizza for £1.50 because we're animals.
Away for the Costco food review, and we might review it on next week. You know?
Yeah, if you see us there, come and say hello. But be careful because I'll be full of pizza and hot dogs, so don't touch me.
Also, it's great because
I may be going. I don't know yet.
I have you a ticket, so you know.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm like for buying extra tickets.
Faye's got me a ticket. It's just whether I'm like whether I've got the energy after work.
Yeah, fair. So we'll run the card down real quick. So we've got Tony Wright versus Kingsley. That's been a bit of a thing. Tony Wright's been beating Kingsley like with roll-ups, and Kingsley's been trying to murder him every match, which is going to be great.
Now it's a meltdown match, so I think it's a no DQ match.
So Kingsley's going to crime Tony.
Kingsley's like, I'm going to hit him with my hammer so many times.
I mean, on the plus side, at least it's Kingsley's ring, so if Tony bleeds all over it, Kingsley starts to clean it.
Yeah.
Then we've got Scott Oben versus Rio, which, yes, please. That's going to fuck. Scott Oben's been arguably the standout of Atomic on the last two shows. He's had showstop matches with 2-Bit and with Sonny Thurston.
That Northwest Strong jacket of Rio's is in danger.
Yeah, he's been carving his way through Northwest Strong on his way to Joe Kessler. Then we've got Dylan McCarthy versus 2-Bit. Look for that.
Dylan McCarthy's so good.
And Tuba had a banger on the last show, so that'd be great.
Dylan or Declan?
Declan. We've got Act 2 versus Rob Drake and Lana Austin.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be so fine.
Don't worry about it. Ethan Kelly versus Chase Alexander.
Can't wait.
Chase is back, baby. His eyes not leaking goo anymore, and he's gonna murder someone.
Yeah.
Scouse Power implodes. Lizzie Evo versus Harley Hudson.
Scouse and angry, not Scouse and proud.
No, just very angry. So there's going to be so much like high-pitched shrieking in that match. It's going to be amazing.
Oh my God, the real feud is between Lizzie and Harley's mum.
Yeah, oh my God, that's going to be ridiculous. I'm scared. We sat behind Harley's mum at the last show, and she is vocal. It's great. The match I'm looking forward to, the match I'm really looking forward to, Made to Last versus Quintessential.
I'm so excited for this match.
Pud's going to hit Leon Gray so hard he turns to dust like at the end of the Avengers.
It's going to be perfect.
And then the main event, Joe Kessler versus Luke Jacobs.
And I'm sure Scott Oberman being there is not going to be any problem whatsoever.
Not at all. And also, didn't Chase attack Kessler at the end of the last show?
Yeah, he did.
So Kessler's in danger, basically.
Maybe Scott Oberman will go after Luke Jacobs because Northwest Strong.
But isn't Kessler also in Northwest Strong?
Yeah, I was about to say Kessler is also in Northwest Strong.
He is, but
he's like the final boss, isn't he? So
Ridgeway's the final boss.
Yeah, I was about to say Ridgeway is absolutely the final boss.
When is Daddy Ridgeway going to come in and stop his kids from fighting?
Yes. that train's never late, mate.
Yeah, so there you go. Atomic. You can't get a ticket because it's all sold out. So you haven't got a ticket, then sucks to be
There's
out.
limited ones on the door, but they said there's hardly none left. So
they did tweet. They said literally 6 hours ago, fully sold out for Wednesday. So I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Oh, so that's changed then?
Yeah.
That was earlier that I read that. So they've fully sold out. Also, it's going to be fantastic. Their pink shirt is back up on their merch shop as well.
Very limited numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have got tickets, brilliant. If you haven't, it'll be up on video somewhere as well. Do make sure you watch it, check it out. It's a really fun. It's really nice to be in because they haven't even got like a title yet or anything or like anything like that. They're literally just a brand new promotion who are just working things out and getting to a point where they're establishing themselves now, which is really cool to see.
I'm very excited.
Oh, one last thing here before we go. Speaking about new promotions, Jay, do you want to talk about Infinite?
I mean, they're not a new promotion.
Well,
and we have no information on it other than it's coming back.
What's old is new again.
So yeah, basically, when was it? About 10 years ago, wasn't it? Longer, maybe. Either way, there was a promotion in Liverpool many moons ago called Infinite Promotions, owned by a famous Scouse wrestler who might not be under contract soon.
Rip Fowler.
From Malarkey. And he ends up selling it, but they used to get a lot of really good talent and they had people in before like they
Tommy
were
End.
big. Yeah, they had Tommy End versus Zach Gibson on one of the shows.
I saw Doug Williams there. I saw Jay Lethal there.
I saw both of them there. Chuck Taylor,
yeah.
I used to work the merch stand. Yeah, it was a fun time had by all. A lot of those people who've worked there has been cancelled now, but they're coming back.
Hopefully with no nonsense.
With no nonsense. They are under new ownership, essentially. No idea.
No. It's one of them. More information as we get it, basically.
They basically put a thing out saying in light of our new owners, but they didn't actually put a thing out about new owners, which is a very Infinite thing to do.
They did. I did look up the names on Company's House, and now I can't remember who it is. But there was two owners.
I'll do a little bit of that. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll do some digging later.
Can I end it on a nicer note then? This week, me and DJ King will be talking about the last Infamous show and the upcoming one as well.
Oh, nice. I might even get to come to that.
I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get to that one because they've announced some good matches. Quintessential versus the models. That's all you
okay. So I've done a bit of the digging. Let's say I've gone to Company's House. So Infinite Promotions was set up on the 8th of April 2023. The two directors are John Edward Kane. He is a year younger than me, which makes me feel really old.
Yeah.
Oh, he also owns Paramount Pro.
Oh, okay.
Or he was involved in Paramount Pro.
I was about to say, because Paramount Pro isn't a thing anymore.
Right, so he was involved in Paramount Pro, so that's gone. That's dissolved now, apparently, according to the Company's House.
Yeah.
And Liam David Wheeler, who doesn't appear to be involved in anything else, just Infinite. So
yeah, because a lot of the Paramount Pro talent are now on. It's not actually like a proper promotion yet, but it's just called Live Pro Wrestling.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
But Lewis Johnson does a lot of wrestling there. Isaac North, like apparently, right? So apparently, him and Isaac North had a match, and like it goes harder than Barry and Isaac North did at Infamous, and that was like murder.
Oh wow!
So I can't wait to get to one of their shows, and they're quite local as well.
Yeah.
So
Sweet. So there you go.
What?
On the Aintree.
I think it's like either Aintree or Southport. Paramount Pro.
They ran a lot in like North. They ran in Bootle, they ran in Neverton, they ran in like sort of places around there.
St Helens as well, though. They did a lot in. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, so keep an eye on that. We'll keep knocking on that. I mean, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan in the Northwest. We've got like so many promotions now. It's phenomenal. There's so much wrestling to choose from. Whatever you watch, you really can't go wrong, can you? It's great.
No.
So.
Sweet, right? We will call it there. We'll be back next week to talk about what happened at Atomic, what happened on Dynamite 200, SummerSlam maybe. Who knows? Yeah, we'll talk about
the G1 semi-finals.
Yeah, we'll know a bit more about the G1. Keep them peeled because Jay and Troy and Aaron, presumably, and maybe Ryan, if he can make a list, are going to do some SummerSlam predictions later in the week. Are you doing SummerSlam as well?
I am.
Oh, you're crossing over to the E like Kenny Omega.
Also, you said you were going to roll your dice on Tasty.
I don't need to roll dice now, mate. I'm a fucking WWE super fan now. I know everything.
What we'll do, we'll get Tom to put it through AI and see what happens.
Can I add one last little bit of news, which really upset me this week? The tag team of August Matthews and Davey Bang, known as the Bang Bros, have been sent a cease and desist.
They were cease desisted by the porn company Bang Bros.
By the porn company, the Bang Bros. Tasty, as a man who's been cease and desisted, what kind of sad is that about?
I mean, it was a very different circumstance. I just had to change a few beer labels. Like I wasn't getting like porn mafiosos coming after me, so it was all right.
Porn mafiosos. Oh my god.
You didn't have a lot of merch that you no longer can sell.
No, it was fine. I just had to give a few hats to the homeless, which was fine.
Also, another thing, if you have any free time this week, try and catch one of Tommy Jackson's streams because they are really fun. They are really good.
Go and follow him because he's almost an affiliate.
Yes,
and he's doing a T-shirt giveaway.
Oh, nice!
He reaches 50.
Top lad.
Yeah. I'm gonna hopefully win that.
You've been fixing it. You've been rigging it. You've been paying him.
I haven't, but I did send him a YouTube channel which had loads of PWG.
Oh, nice.
PWG on his next stream. So there's that.
I want to watch really Tommy. I want to watch Tommy Jackson watch old El Generico matches. That's my thing.
I mean,
Stacey Rose threatened to murder me, so it's fine.
On Sunday night, it was just Tommy watching loads of Minoru Suzuki matches, so that was fun.
It was very good.
Yeah.
All right, on that lovely note, then we'll call it there. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week for more wrestling news and discussion. And yeah, take care. See you later. Enjoy your wrestling. Goodbye.
Happy wrestling.
Bye.
Hello, yes, Danhausen here. Danhausen has been summoned. You must love this podcast, Hausen, the Untitled Wrestling Podcast, Hausen.